First Timothy 1 verse 5. Now the end of the commandment is charity. As mentioned earlier, these individuals strive for success. Just so that their character can be expressed, they refer to it as their true self and try to protect it. However, the Bible emphasizes multiple times that you should put to death the true self. When you first believed in the Lord and repented, it was because of the character of your true self. But after repentance, why does it seem to resurface? This is a common problem among all Christians, and it is especially prevalent among pastors. During ordinary times, they do not allow this old self to manifest, but after achieving success, the old self gradually emerges, and this is what the Bible calls the poisonous root. Some of these poisonous roots sprout, their roots remain even if you cut down the tree. Eventually, when your field receives nourishment, new poisonous roots can grow, producing harmful fruits in your life. Many times, they have left certain things unresolved after they believe in the Lord, or they have not maintained the habit of daily uprooting. Even if they know that something is wrong after believing in the Lord, they may not make the effort to uproot it, and slowly, the poisonous root will re-emerge. Some people may not even realize that certain things are wrong, but as you believe in the Lord and learn more truth, you can make comparisons, and should be able to discern right from wrong. However, that person gradually sees that true self as their identity, thus, they silently allow these sins to come forth and act according to their own desires. If the action seems plausible on the surface, they will do it. They think that if everyone else does it, they can, too. However, this mindset of, if others do it, I can do it too, it is an excuse that many people use to commit sins. Ultimately, that old self within you also desires to do it, right? It means that your old self has not truly repented. Indeed, many Christians often struggle with the issue of stumbling and falling. When they witness a few people in the church losing their testimony, they use it as an excuse to stumble. It stems from this herd mentality. But they never consider that from beginning to end, it is their old self that desires to do it. They have just now found many others to imitate. That's why I often say, if someone stumbles when others stumble, I don't feel sorry for them, because in my first year of believing in the Lord, I overcame these obstacles. You have believed in the Lord for over 10 years, and if you see a few people stumble or if someone wrongs you, you will stumble, too. You are genuinely letting down the shepherding of the church over the past decade. You, and even boldly saying, you should be righteous, upright, and good to me, you should always be the best leader in front of me, otherwise, I will stumble. Ultimately, you are just waiting for the opportunity to burst forth. Indeed, many people, especially Chinese people, have a mindset. You have always been good, so you should always be good. What is this called? It's called wanting to reap the rewards without putting in the effort. Many people, even if they are in Zion, they still have this mentality of wanting others to be good to them. Wishing to reap the rewards without effort, as if it is their entitlement. Some people gradually become like this, especially our next generation, who are slowly getting accustomed to getting rewards without effort in this environment, thinking that it's only natural for you to be good to me, so, when you are not suitable for me, or when you make mistakes, I will stumble, and I will find excuses like these. But the act of believing in the Lord is profound in itself. God has already revealed this existing old self through repentance early on, letting you know that this old self needs to become another self. In the image of God, this is the true purpose of life and faith. However, this teaching has become disconnected throughout the entire church. How to put it into practice? The techniques and considerations all have been lost, only sharing some superficial truths from the Bible, and this is considered as church, the so-called truth. I have already noticed this problem while believing in the Lord. It is not strange for you to feel this way, as a lay believer, having believed in the Lord for only 4 or 5 years. When you returned to Hong Kong to start a church, you felt that everything needed to start from scratch. Why did you ponder on this matter? You probably have never heard any Christian say something like this. Starting a church. Everything needs to start from scratch, re-examining the ways of offering, worship, and gathering, researching everything anew, starting from zero, no copying allowed. The reason is that simply copying and replicating everything would lead to confusion. When I returned, I discovered following these churches' copy and paste approach would not work. I did not want to follow church traditions, such as begging for offerings or passing around offering bags. If I were to do things that way, I could return to being a construction worker. It would be better than doing these things. Do you understand? There were too many traditions, and it would be better not to do them. If I were to carry out all of them, my conscience would not be at peace. I had already thought this way as a lay believer, but I encountered many pastors who, even after a lifetime of ministry, they did not take it seriously, and it only got worse. At that time, I mistakenly thought that many others might be attempting the same thing as I did. However, now that I have been serving for decades, I realize. Until now, I have not heard of any church in the world that starts everything from scratch when it is established. Even in terms of understanding the Bible, every verse and every word shared, I must re-examine them myself. I have come to realize that no one in the world has ever undertaken such an endeavor, and that many things are copied and replicated. Of course, there are also some original thinkers, but they only remain at the point of originality throughout their lives, making no progress, just like Kenneth Hagin, for example. It is already a great miracle that you have this understanding. In fact, as you now listen to my sharing over the years, my perspective on every aspect of things has reached the level of a grandmaster. In every aspect. I never anticipated such an achievement. However, to reach this level, regardless of how difficult it may be, I have found that in all my life, I have not seen any pastor who could accomplish anything I have achieved. 1 Timothy 1 verse 5. Now the end of the commandment is charity.
I'm running after you. Never again will you leave my side. Even when life pulls me back, makes me suffer, still I'll reach my finish line. I'll never let you go. To the world I shall say goodbye. When it is all said and done, rest assured, I can say I've lived my life. When it is all said and done, rest assured, I can say I've lived my life.